Namaste friends. Today we are making almond chocolate fudge. If you have 1 liter of milk in the house, you can make this recipe. Well, let's get started, but before, please subscribe my channel. So here I'm taking cashews and almonds. I'm taking around 1 cup. You can add pistachios, walnuts, any nuts of your choice. And I'm going to dry roast it. Dry roast it in medium flame until it is crunchy and brown. So it's almost done. So I'm also taking 1 liter of milk. I'm using the same pan, it's all right. And I'm taking full fat milk, so make sure that you're taking whole milk. Once it's coming to boil, I'm adding 1 cup of jaggery or brown sugar. So what we're doing right now is making a condensed milk. So we are going to reduce this milk down and make a fudge out of it. So I'm going to mix nicely. And since we are adding jaggery or brown sugar or raw sugar, it's much more healthier option than your regular sugar. But if you don't have any brown sugar or jaggery, you can use regular sugar. I'm going to give a nice mix. And once it's coming to boil, I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. This is the classic recipe of making condensed milk. Sugar, milk and baking soda. That's all we need for making condensed milk. You can buy the market tin of condensed milk and add it. It will speeden up the process. But condensed milk will also have added sugar in it. So we don't want that. And also sometimes the market made condensed milk will add some preservatives in it. So if you're making this fresh batch of condensed milk, it's much more healthier. So it's been almost 30 minutes now and it's almost reduced to a nice consistency. This is what we need. So I'm going to give a nice mix to this. You can see a really beautiful caramel color because of the jaggery. You can see this is nothing but condensed milk, pure form of condensed milk. And I'm going to check the consistency. What we need is that sticky consistency. So that's when we add in our cocoa powder. So here I'm using cocoa powder around 4 tablespoons. I'm adding 2 tablespoons at a time. Don't add full because there may be lumps. So we need to make sure that we mix it carefully. Usually sifting your cocoa powder before you add it into the fudge is going to lessen the chances of formation of lumps. Now add in the remaining cocoa powder and give it a mix. We just want to make sure that everything is well incorporated. And now I'm adding half teaspoon of cardamom powder. If you have been a follower of my recipes, you know that I add cardamom powder for every sweet, mainly because it's going to reduce your sugar cravings and those hunger pangs. Now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of butter. And give it a mix. Look at the sheen already. Once we added the butter, already we are having a really nice texture. Now I'm adding another tablespoon of butter and I'm going to give it a mix. Adding butter in batches actually helps in this recipe so that it doesn't start spluttering. And when I'm making this, I'm keeping my flame in a very medium flame. Don't do it in a high flame, otherwise you will have your fudge burnt very easily. Even if it's low to medium, it's fine, but just don't make it in a high flame. Make sure you're scraping the sides, and having a non-stick pan for this recipe is really a lifesaver. And now I'm adding chopped up nuts. So I have this small mini chopper which I have. And I'm not going to add everything. So this is the texture of the nuts, how much we need. Don't make it too small, otherwise you will not feel any nuts in this fudge. So it has to be like a medium size. And I'm not going to add all of them because I'm going to save some for garnishing later. And I'm going to give a mix. So the nuts can be of your choice: almonds, pistachios, walnuts. In fact, you can also add those caramel bits if you can buy, they also taste very good. And now I'm adding finally 1 tablespoon of butter, because I want it to start leaving the sides. So that's when actually we know that the fudge is ready. So to help the fudge incorporate properly, we are going to add a final tablespoon of butter. And you can see that it's already leaving the sides. And it's done now. So now I'm taking a lined tin. So since I'm using a parchment paper or butter paper, you don't really have to grease it with anything, because already we have a lot of butter in it. And now I'm going to add some garnishing, those nuts which I had saved. And I'm going to pop it into the fridge for at least 1 hour. So after 1 hour, you can see that I'm going to cut it into square shape, whichever shape you like. And these fudges are very chewy and they're very fudgy looking fudge. They're not crunchy fudge. They're really gooey and yummy fudge. I hope you like this recipe. Please do make, because they taste amazing. See you next week.